Okay, I forgot to click the record. Okay, let's start again. Okay. So here is the link from your portal. Okay, for assignment question, assignment number 3. So in case anything is not clear, I'm not asking you to answer all questions. Okay. So look at the deadline is due on 31st March. Ample time. You have about 5 to 6 weeks from today. For example, this image, you are supposed to answer only question 11.1, 11.3, and 11.5. Okay, and this one, you know why only the odd number questions? Because the even number questions are given the answer already given at the back, so that is not challenging enough. Okay, so if you want to know whether you are doing the right things, okay, you need to answer the even number question yourself. Okay, so when you answer the even number questions, okay, not for submissions, assignment submission, but for practice, then you can check at the back, okay, with the final answer given, and then you know whether you are on the right track or not. Okay, so here is the questions. Okay, I'll upload the files. Okay, remind me by Monday at least. I will, because some questions, for example, like this one. Okay, questions 11.29. Okay, 11.31. So you'll be given, or you can type actually. This is a very small sample data. Okay, this is for the topic of hypothesis testing, and then you have questions on regression. Okay, the topic that I introduced in the last session during intensive week. So for this one, you have more data. Okay, this one is small set of data for manual calculation in exam. You also have a bigger set of data, usually for the purpose of model estimation, especially if you are 420E student, okay, for your final year project, okay, submission next year. Okay, so you need to know, and even if you are under the code 316E, okay, you need to know how to do these regression things using computer, because chances are in your line of work, okay, especially if you're working in jabatan perangkaan, statistik departments, okay, ataupun anda sambung belajar, so you will come across this regression estimation, where you will work with a huge set of data. In case anything is not clear, okay, other than the data set, what you can do is highlight the parts, okay, and then you can click comment, okay, comment here. All right. So of course, you are currently assessing this as anonymous person, so that's why. But you can type anything here. Actually, this is Google document. I can set the chat box to, on the chat box, but I choose not to. So you can click question. It looks like you have a lot. And finally, okay, at the end of this assignment 3, there will be a set of questions in terms of case study, also from the textbook. This one is extra, no marks. Okay, because I'm thinking of those who will be doing the final year project next year. This is where you need to relate, okay, the practice of estimation and also the interpretation and reporting of your results. Okay, again, even if you are under the code JKE 316E, it's also good for you to know how to report for this specific case study. Okay, any question you can ask me by commenting here. Okay, I'll get the notification, don't worry. Okay, so let's start now with this present. Okay, so remember, during the intensive week, I already introduced to you both topics. Okay, on the left-hand side, we have the topic of hypothesis testing ataupun ujian hypothesis. And then on the right-hand side, we have the topic of simple regression ataupun regresi mudah. Okay, so it's quite easy in terms of the translation. from English to BM, just tukar je. Okay, so that is the things that I already covered, especially when it comes to the first step of hypothesis testing. You have a different formula, okay, similar with regression, okay, but remember, okay, at your level, it's not only to calculate using formula, okay, that is like modern maths at SPM level. You also need to know how to give meaning to the figure that you calculate, okay? So let's start with hypothesis testing. Okay, apakah objektif tujuan anda belajar tajuk ujian hipotesis? Selalunya ujian hipotesis, remember I told you that it's not only for economic students. If you are scientist working in labs, if you are social scientist working with people, not inside the lab, okay, even if you are working with animals, if you are working with flora and fauna in the jungle, okay, katakanlah anda ambil sampel, again, katak, okay, daripada hutan, okay, you'll be taking a sample from a small area of the forest or of the taman negara, okay, and then you're going to conclude for the whole hutan or the whole national park. So again, this is where you need to do hypothesis testing. You need to determine whether you have enough evidence statistically, okay, maksudnya mempunyai bukti yang cukup secara statistik, okay, untuk membolehkan anda menyimpulkan hipotesis itu adalah disokong oleh data. So remember, okay, you are a social scientist. Anda bukan a keyboard warrior. Okay, you see one accident, okay, and then you can conclude, oh, okay, itulah punca. No, you need to have a sample, big enough size sample, okay, and you need to do the hypothesis test steps, okay, do the calculation and then make the right conclusion. That is the steps that you need to do. Okay, so how are you going to do the steps? First, make sure you know, okay, what is the hypothesis in terms of the null hypothesis, the HO ataupun H0, kita panggil. And then what is the alternative hypothesis, H1, or sometimes they use the symbol HA. Okay, remember, H0 ataupun null hypothesis always have the symbol equality. Okay, HO, this is where you have mu equals what? Or proportions equal, okay, or sample A equals to sample B, okay, it's always equality. Okay, alternative hypothesis will be the one with symbol greater than, less than, or does not equal to. Depend. How do you know what to use, what symbol to use in the alternative hypothesis? From the data or the questions given to you. Test whether there is increase in population. So the word increase means greater than. Or test whether the filling up at the manufacturing factory, manufacturing ketchup. Okay, bahasa Melayu dia. So, and then you want to know whether, the machine is filling less than the appropriate amount. So, you are going to test for less than. Or if you have to sample, you want to know, ada beza ke tak ada beza? So, the hypothesis should be does not equal to, which means ada beza antara dua kelompok sampel. Okay, and then, remember, when we do test, it's always at certain level of significance, pada arah keertian yang tertentu. You know, when you say statistical evidence, bukti yang cukup secara statistik, so we always use either 1% or 5%. Sometimes if you need to, you will use 10%. So what is this 5% or 1% or 10%? Ilianil, ingat tak? What is the use of this 5% or 1% level of significance? You can type. Okay, Azizo sama juga. I'm not sure whether you ada Azizo ke because oh ada Azizo. Apa maksud 5% or 1% tu? What's the meaning of that? Tiada jawapan. Okay, remember, okay, this is the rejection area. For you to say, oh, memang betul dah meningkat, greater than, it has to fall in the rejection area to the right. Okay, so that is the 5% or the 1% area. Similarly, if you see that less than, okay, less than at 5% level is significant, so the rejection area 5% will fall on the left hand side. If you use the does not equals to, that means two tail test, 5%, that means 5% divided by 2, your rejection region tu on the right hand side 2.5%, or okay, on the left hand side is also 2.5%. And then you need to read the Z table. Kalau 5%, okay, so the critical point for you to accept or to reject will be the plus minus 1.96. Okay, 1% means plus minus 2.58. You can memorize for Z or normal distribution. But if you're talking about small sample, less than 20%, not less than 20, less than N less than 30, or when the variance, population variance is unknown, okay, for small sample, then you can use T distribution, okay, with certain degree of freedom. So that one you need to calculate, you need to find out from the table what are the critical values. Okay, and then step 3, this is where you need to do some computation. Anda perlu kira sikit. Okay, the formula is actually a variation of the Z-score formula yang kita gunakan untuk normal distribution in the second WebEx, I think. Okay, chapter on normal distribution. So Z equals to X minus mu divided by sigma divided by square root of N. So sekarang ni kita just adjust the formula accordingly. You need to calculate, okay, make sure the mathematical rule, selesaikan dulu dalam bracket, selesaikan atas, selesaikan bawah, atas bagi bawah, okay, then you get the final answer. Working, okay, jalan kerja, always use 4 decimal places, okay, keep on repeating this. Jalan kerja untuk tujuan final exam dan juga assignment, please maintain 4 titik perpuluhan, 4 decimal places. Final answer, then only you can round up to 2 decimal places. Okay, based on this test statistic, then you in step 2, when you find the critical value, this is where you need to sketch your bell-shaped normal distribution or T distribution curve. Okay, so you sketch the rejection area, whether it's on the right or on the left or both right and left tails. Okay, and then from step 3, the final figure, then you know whether it falls in the rejection region yang dah blurred tu, ataupun it's not in the rejection region, that means dia jatuh di kawasan acceptance. Okay, bukan kawasan blurred. So from there, you make the decision. The decision is always to reject HO or not to reject HO. Please do not use other words. Okay, jangan tiba-tiba kata not to reject ni anda gantikan accept null hypothesis. No, it's either we reject or we do not reject the null hypothesis. Because kenapa anda reject ataupun do not reject tadi? Because you compare Z that you calculate in step 3, okay, which dia jatuh dalam kawasan acceptance, then do not reject. Okay, if Z that you calculate in step 3 it falls in the rejection region from step 2, then you say reject the null hypothesis. This is all revision, you should know. Okay, and because you reject the null hypothesis, you say that there is significant evidence that 5% or 1% that blah 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 depend on the context of the data or questions. Okay, if you find out the decision is not to reject, and then you say that there is no significant evidence. The word not means gagal menolak, jadi tiada bukti yang ketara secara statistik pada aras 5% bahawa blah 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 blah. Okay, so that is the 5 step in general. Okay, and then where is my Okay, on the theory part, okay, so I already explained in detail, okay, the importance of you knowing what's the difference between type 1 error and type 2 error. Type 1 error is similar to an innocent person, okay, orang yang tak bersalah dipenjarakan. Okay, it's a very serious mistake. Okay, so that's why we want to, when you say 5% level of significance, that means you are setting the probability making a wrong decision, okay, at the level of 5%. That means very minimal chance for you to have that mistake. Type 2 error is, you know, the person is guilty but you set them free. It's okay, okay? It's not, it's less serious. Orang tu bersalah tapi dia terlepas pada penghukuman. So that is okay. Our concern is that orang yang tak bersalah tapi dia hukum penjara. Okay, dalam konteks penghakiman di mahkamah. So that is more serious. Okay, so you need to know the definition. Okay, bukan cerita mahkamah penjara, okay, bersalah tak bersalah. Tapi in term of the definition of type 1 error, this is where a true null hypothesis is being rejected. And the level of the probability of doing this is set at 5% or 1%. Okay. Okay, so step 3. Okay, so remember large samples, more than 30, your n more than 30. This is where you use normal distribution table. Or you can use your calculator. Remember sheet distribution 1, 2, or 3. Okay, you can read straight away the probability. If your sample is less than 30 and less than 30, then you should use more t distribution. Okay, t table with degree of freedom n minus 1. Okay, so remember again, okay, the formula is just variation of x minus mu divided by sigma divided by square root of n. It's always sample mean minus the population mean. So if it's not given, okay, in term of, you know, 2 means independent sample. So this one mu1 equals to mu2. So mu1 minus mu2 equals to 0. It's understood, okay? Because when you say mu1 equals to mu2, that means another way of writing that is mu1 minus mu2 equals to 0. It's the same meaning in it has the same meaning in mathematics. So it's just variation when you have two sample. Now instead of only 1 S bar, you have 2 S bar. You deduct. Okay, instead of 1 mu, then you have 2 mu. Instead of 1 sigma, okay, now you have 2. 1 sample, you have 2. So it's just, okay, again, if we are talking about, instead of mean, you are talking about proportion, similar, sample proportion, deduct with population proportion. So that's why we have the P hat here. Okay. And then if you are using normal distribution, so everything must be in terms of D. If you are using P distribution, the formula must be labeled as everything in terms of T. Okay, so jangan salah. Okay, so you have the formula. You need to know which formula to use. Okay, and then you are done with hypothesis testing. But remember, okay, final exam question will start from hypothesis testing. Okay, but for you to answer hypothesis testing questions, you need to know about mean. Okay, standard deviation. That is from the first WebEx session. Okay, and then from the second WebEx session, you need to know about normal distribution. You need to know about confidence interval estimation. Because another way for you to accept or to reject the hypothesis is by looking at the p-value. Okay, so step 4, the decision, you can replace step 2, the critical point, with the p-value, the probability value. So you accept, you reject or do not reject the null hypothesis based on the p-value. So you want a p-value less than 0.05, okay, then you do not reject. So it's greater than, then you reject. Okay? So we are done with hypothesis testing. The other topic that I introduced to you, Okay, again, we also come across hypothesis testing, but for now, let's talk about regression. Okay, so you already learned about linear regression, persamaan garis lurus, okay, untuk modern math. Okay, tujuan anda belajar persamaan garis lurus ni, okay, you're going to estimate the model, okay, dengan tujuan untuk meramalkan nilai Y berdasarkan nilai X. So it's possible for you to estimate, okay, and to make predictions later. Okay, what is Y? What is X? Iman. What is Y? What is X? Apa nama lain Y? Apa nama lain untuk X? Simple regression, you have only one X. Multiple regression, you akan ada banyak X. That's why I put XS here. Iman, apa nama lain untuk Y? Nama lain untuk X? Azizul. Ilyani. Come on. Dah ajar dah ni. I'm waiting for answer. Oh, Syariman is Iman. Okay. Guys, what is X? What is Y? Nama lain untuk X and Y. Nanti kalau nak Google nota kan, tak mesti you'll find linear regression everything into X and Y. They will use other names for X and for Y. What are they? Syariman, Ilyani, Azizul. Aduh. Oh, correct. Yes. X pun boleh ubah apa, Iman? Okay, correct? Okay, Y adalah dependent variable. Pun boleh ubah bersandar, or this is the effect, okay, also known as the regression. Okay, so that is Y. Okay, X is pun boleh ubah bebas, independent variable, regressor, okay, and the cause, penyebab. Okay, so you need, when you are doing your final year project, if you are doing regression estimation, you need to base your what is Y, what is X based on theory. So I use the example of consumption theory. So C, consumption adalah as a function of Y, income. So Y is the regressor, is the cause, is the independent variable. Okay, C, the consumption of individual, okay, household, is the regression, is the dependent variable, and the effect. Okay, so it's always it's very important for you to know what is the cause, what is the effect, because at the end of today you will come across correlation doesn't mean causation. Okay, adanya hubungan korelasi tak bermakna ada hubungan sebab akibat. Okay, so you need to have a theory yang akan menerangkan your regression analysis. So basically, linear regression means we are going to have a straight line going up. So your slope of regression function tu akan your B1, okay, will be positive. If you have a downward sloping, okay, then you will have a negative slope, okay, for the regression equation. Let's say you have Cobb-Douglas production function. Macam mana nak jadikan dia Cobb-Douglas? Macam mana bentuk dia? U-shape. Okay, so macam mana you nak jadikan dia linear? Usually you will take log both left hand side, the dependent variable as well as the independent variable. So dia akan jadi linear in log form. Okay, so that is a bit advanced. Just somebody wants to do production theory. Okay, usually we come across the Cobb-Douglas production function, the CES, constant elasticity scales production function. Ada banyak lagi the different type of production function. Itu baru daripada teori pengeluaran. Okay, Ada banyak lagi teori. Tadi saya sebut teori penggunaan, okay, consumption theory. You have cost theory, you have demand theory, supply theory, a lot more. Okay. So you need to determine what is Y, what is X, okay, and then this is the formula. Okay, this is the original formula. In exam, you are supposed to calculate B first, or the slope of the regression function equation, and then the intercept. A is the intercept. Sometimes this is from modern math, but I'm using B1, beta 1 dan juga beta kosong. Okay, and then once you estimate, it becomes B1 and B0. Okay, so this is the slope. Again, this is variation of the formula for standard deviation. Each x minus the mean. Okay, each x minus the mean, you sum all. Okay, and then you multiply with each y minus the mean for y. Okay, I mean you multiply this and then you sum. Okay, and then that is the numerator. Denominator, each x minus the mean, and then you square and then you sum. Okay, and then this is the formula. Once you have your intercept, once you have the slope of the regression function, okay, then you can calculate the slope. Okay, using you can calculate the intercept using the slope. Okay, simply take y minus the slope b1 multiplied with x. Okay. You need to memorize this shortcut formula. Okay, I already teach you from your scientific calculator. We straight away give you the value of B, final answer, the value of A or B1 and B0, the slope as well as the intercept. But then sometimes you key in the wrong data, so you need to show your workings in a bit detail. So write down this formula. Okay, replace what is the N, sample size. What is summation of x multiplied with y? What is summation of x? Okay, what is summation of y? What is summation of x square? Okay, and this one is summation of x in bracket u square. This is not the same thing, yeah? This is each x you square and then you add up. This is the addition of all x, okay, which you square. So it's two different values. Do not confuse this. And this is the formula for the intercept. Okay, so this is the one that you use during exam. Okay, so even though your calculator, if you key in correctly, straight away you get the slope of the regression as well as the intercept of the regression line. You still need to show the workings. Okay, what is the formula to calculate the slope? What is the formula to calculate the intercept? Replace the value inside the formula, then only you write, okay, the final answer. Okay, again, working, please maintain 4 decimal places. Final answer, when you are writing this y hat, that means y that you estimate is equals to a value for the intercept, plus or minus, depend on the slope, okay, the value of x. This is the final answer for the regression line or the regression equation. Okay, again, okay, you'll come across hypothesis testing. Okay, you'll be asked, okay, how well, okay, the linear model fit the data. Okay, adakah ini padanan terbaik? Okay, because remember when you do estimation, when you do regression, you are going to use this to make prediction. Okay, kalau anda tahu, okay, contoh back to the consumption theory. Consumption is a function of income. So the slope is the marginal propensity to consume. So if you know gelagat rakyat Malaysia ni, okay, sekian-sekian. So kerajaan, okay, with the, you know, we have the multiplier formula, okay, so we have the fiscal policy. So kalau kerajaan inject, okay, the income of the household, okay, by a certain amount of unit, they know using the multiplier formula, okay, with the slope of the consumption function, then consumption will change by how much. So that will, at the end, will affect GDP, because GDP is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Okay, so similarly with government, okay, investment theory. Okay, investment, is very much affected by interest rate. Okay, so in this case, if governments know the relationship, okay, positive relationship, so a small amount of changes in interest rate, okay, monetary policy, okay, and that will affect the total investment by the private sector, so that will affect the GDP at the end. So you see, that is the importance of what you're doing. But now you need to test, okay? So whether it's the line of best fit. So you need to do this hypothesis test. So the null hypothesis, okay, will always be B1 equals to 0. That means the slope equals to 0. That means no relationship between x and y. Okay, if you get the slope greater than 0 or less than 0 or does not equals to 0, maksud ada nilai. Slope tu ada nilai, so garisan tu bukan lagi there will be upward sloping or downward sloping, positive relationship, negative relationship. That means there is a linear relationship between x and y. So again, this is the formula for step 3. So you're going to take the estimated value of B1 minus the population value, which is 0. Okay, so you take it 0, divide by the standard deviation, okay, standard error. So that will be the step 3, and step 4, reject or do not reject, step 5. Okay, so you need to do that. So it's the same step, okay, except that for this standard error of estimate. So you need to know this formula, standard error of estimate, how to calculate them. Okay, so this is one aspect of hypothesis of simple regression. Okay, and then another way, okay, for you to check whether your line of your regression line is, best fit the data. We are going to call this line of best fit, because what we are doing is the method of ordinary least square, okay, kuasa 2 terkecil, okay, kaedah kuasa 2 terkecil. Because remember, what you have in terms of data is not a straight line. Your data will be a scattered diagram. Maksud ada banyak dotted line. So this regression line is the imaginary line. Anda kena bayangkan ini satu garis bayangan untuk menggambarkan hubungan titik-titik pasangan data tersebut. Sama ada nampak macam hubungan positif, upward sloping, or ataupun downward sloping. So when you do, just now the formula, if you go back, each value of x, y, okay, back to the distance between the regression line, we want to minimize them. So we are going to use the formula coefficients of determination per kali penentu. Okay, bahasa Melayu dia per kali penentu, and then the symbol is R square. Okay, be careful, R square is coefficient of determination. Ada makna. Okay, small r is known as coefficient of correlation, totally different. Okay, it's related, but it's not the same thing. Okay. So this is the formula for R square, okay. What's the meaning of R square? If you have R square equals to 0, that means basically X does not explain Y. Tiada hubungan antara X and Y. That's why the coefficient of determination per kali penentu anda akan dapat 0. But what we want, okay, because anda buat regression ni berdasarkan teori, okay, you're doing this based on theory. So usually you will get something like 0.9, that is very strong explanation, okay, very strong. Or you will get even 0.5, 0.7, all those things. So the closer to 1, that means the more fit your linear model, okay, to the data, okay. But usually you won't get 1 or 100%, because 1 means your data, your dotted line, all exactly on this straight line. Okay, data in real life does not happen that way. Usually you will get, some close, some very far. You even have outliers, okay, yang terkeluar jauh pada rakan-rakan dia ni. Okay, so usually you get close to 1, but okay, as long as closer to 1, that is good. okay, it's explained, but 0 means, okay, it's not explained. Okay, so you have the formula. Okay, and then this is how you read if you are doing the computer, the regression modeling. Okay, so the computer will calculate the intercept. Okay, this is the B1. Okay, the slope. Okay, for this particular example. So this is the T statistic. Okay, for step 3 for you to reject whether slope ni sama dengan kosong ke slope ni tak sama dengan kosong. So in this case, okay, because it's 0.05, so you can say it's reject. Okay. Okay, and then you have the R squared 0.3868, so roughly 0.39. So very tak strong sangat. Okay. So X hanya menerangkan Y dalam 40%. So it's not strong explain cost variable. Okay. And then okay, I've been saying all this cause and effect. Okay, as I told you, it has to be based on theory. Okay, you need to start somewhere. Okay, for example, when we talk about advertising expenditure and sales revenue, which one is cause and effect? It's possible. Macam juga another topic in economic structure, conduct performance in industrial economics, that is final year course. Okay, the relationship is not that structure, market structure will determine the conduct of firm. It's also possible the conduct of firm affect market structure. Okay, just now we are assuming, okay, the amount of advertising expenditure will determine sales revenue. But there are also companies that, based on the sales revenue, then they put aside the amount that they want to spend on advertising. So the relationship can work both ways, but you need to assume which one is the cause, which one is the effect. Sama juga macam chicken and egg. Which one comes first? Chicken and egg. Tail, demand. Which one comes first? Chicken and egg. Ileane, telur ayam kah? Ayam kah yang datang dulu? Ayam bertelur. Tapi telur yang menetas jadi ayam. So, which one comes first? Chicken or egg? Okay. I don't want to go into that. It's a bit controversial because ada religious point of view juga kat situ, but and then the biological answer, orang biology will jawab. But the cause and effect relationship tu perlu diterangkan melalui teori. So since you are economic student, so you have the economic theory as your starting point before you do this regression analysis. So when you are doing the final year project, okay, you are reading the literature, so you need to know, okay, which theory that you are using for your study. Okay, and then it's possible that you have two things are related. Okay, it looks like they are related, but actually they are not. For that, you need to know how to calculate correlation coefficient. Okay, this is the small r. The rho, this is macam P ni. This is not P. Okay, this is the symbol for, we call it rho, R-H-O. Okay, this is Greek symbol. For population correlation coefficient, we use this rho. And then for sample correlation coefficient, we use the small r. Okay, again, capital R, okay, square is coefficient of determination. Small r is sample correlation coefficient. This is the formula. Just remember this one. Okay, what does it mean is that if your data is scattered like this, okay, there's no pattern. There's no upward sloping or downward sloping. Okay, you cannot tell. Is it a positive relationship between X and Y? Or is it negative relationship between X, Y? Chances are you will get, the coefficient of determination 0, and then the correlation coefficient, okay, is also 0. Okay, basically there is no relationship between the two Y variable. If you have, okay, something like this, okay, your scattered diagram yang titik-titik ni adalah nampak macam ada hubungan negatif, okay, downward sloping, okay. So kalau you estimate your regression line will be downward sloping like this, so it shows that there is a negative correlation, okay. Similarly, if you have outward sloping, your dotted line tu macam menghala ke atas. Okay, remember, mathematics, we are reading from this origin. Okay, this is X, this is Y, okay, vertical axis is Y, horizontal axis is X, the cost variable, this is the effect variable. Okay, this one is the origin. Okay, so anda selalu akan baca pada origin ni bawa ke kanan atau bawa ke atas. Jangan terbalik pula. Macam mana Dr. Razia baca apa? Outward sloping. You baca daripada kanan because you baca style Arab daripada kanan. You kata this is downward sloping. Please. Okay. This is the Roman way. This is the origin. So this is what we call upward sloping. Okay. This is downward sloping. There is no slope on this side. Okay. We are done with the simple regression. Okay, so final exam will be when it comes to regression topic, final exam will be in terms of simple regression. Okay, because I won't be asking you to use computer. Okay, you just need to use your scientific calculator. But for the purpose of further study or at work, okay, if you are scientist, if you are social scientist, or if final year students next year, you need to do final year project, chances are, okay, economic variable tu bukan ada satu sahaja faktor yang menyerang, but they have a lot. Okay, so you have to go to multiple regression analysis. Okay, so instead of only one X, now you have X1, X2, X3. Okay, so when we talk about consumer theory, okay, for example, okay, demand, okay, other than the price, okay, faktor cita rasa pengguna, okay, jantina pengguna, because katakanlah demand for kereta, mungkin kalau lelaki tu lain sikit, perempuan lain sikit, and then in terms of season, selalunya sebelum musim perayaan, Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, semua orang duk tukar kereta, okay, so maksudnya faktor musim. Dekat Malaysia tak ada musim winter sama. Malaysia ada musim perayaan, cuti sekolah. So that will affect your jualan kereta, for example. Okay, tadi dari segi availability of credit cards. Okay, so all of these are the different variables that affect jualan kereta. Okay, so if you are owner of car sales punya company, you want to estimate, okay, kalau untuk tahun ni, okay, adakah cita rasa pengguna contohnya sekarang ni ke arah multi-purpose vehicle, okay, ataupun saloon car or sport car or utility vehicle, okay, so the different model, okay, and then all the other variables tadi. Okay, so under the multiple regression, okay, this is the assumption. Okay, this is very important for those who are doing final year project. What we are assuming is the relationship between dependent variable and the independent variable are linear. So even if you do not have a linear relationship, macam calculus tu, you need to transform into a linear relationship using log. So kalau CES macam mana pula? Okay, kalau there are a lot of Herod-Doma punya production function, okay, you come across that. Okay, so you need to assume it's linear. Kalau persamaan tu tak linear, then you need to linearkan. Okay, because multiple regression analysis, simple regression ke, we can deal with linear relationship. Kalau non-linear tu maksud dia, contoh dia macam U-shape, kan maksudnya dia downward sloping, lepas tu sampai the bottom U tu, and then dia upward sloping. Ataupun dia macam total cost curve, dia macam ada inflection point. Mula dia increase at decreasing rate, okay, and then dia increase at decreasing rate. So itu semua advanced lah. Okay, and then we assume that there is no linear relationship between two or more of the independent variable. So pemilih ubah bebas pertama, pemilih ubah bebas kedua tu dia tak berhubung. Okay? So you cannot have dependent variables yang independent variables or yang pertama dan kedua tu berkaitan. Contoh dia katakanlah you dah ada contoh dia katakanlah anda dah ada pembeli ubah pendidikan. Okay, be careful ya. At the same time, pendidikan ni X1, X2 adalah pembeli ubah tingkat pendapatan. Okay, so usually, tapi anda nak menerangkan tentang penggunaan, okay, C untuk isi rumah. So satu pembeli ubah adalah tingkat pendapatan, satu lagi pembeli ubah adalah tingkat pendidikan. Usually, okay, kita selalunya makin tinggi belajar, makin besar pendapatan, betul tak? So kalau sekolah menengah, diploma, sarjana muda, sarjana PhD, semakin tinggi tu makin besar pendapatan. So maksud sekarang ni hubungan antara pembeli ubah tingkat pendapatan dan tingkat pendidikan tu bukan lagi bebas tapi dia dah ada hubungan. So you cannot use both variable to explain penggunaan. You take only one. Okay? Because otherwise you will have the problem of multicollinearity. Okay? So you can check by using the correlation table. Okay, and then we assume that, okay, the variance of the error term is the same for all observations. Remember, mean variance, you will come across mean variance to the end of your life if you are doing analysis, economic analysis or statistical analysis. Okay, so when variance is the same, this is what we call as homoscedasty. Okay, but when this assumption is no longer valid, then you have the problem of heteroscedasty. Okay, or banyak perkataan baru. Okay, and then this one, error term is uncorrelated. Again, the error term adalah normally distributed. Okay, this is all the things that you have learned before. So they are all coming back and put together, and it expand, become, because in economics you have a lot of variables. Chances are your final year project, okay, you'll be dealing with multiple regression, not simple regression. If you're going for master or PhD, where you need to do research, okay, based on theory, again, you'll come across multiple regressions, okay. So you need to handle the problem of autocorrelation, okay, heteroscedasty, especially if you're dealing with time series data. Just now, data can be in terms of cross-section, can be in terms of time series, can be in terms of panel data, which combine. When I say data, just now for example, when we talk about income, okay, consumption as a function of income. So when you have data consumption, macroeconomic data on consumption and income, you have data for Penang, okay, data for Selangor, data for all the different states in Malaysia for 2016. That is what we call as cross-section data, okay. But if we are talking about consumption and income data for Malaysia since Merdeka 1957 up to 2015, that is time series data. Satu je consumption data untuk Malaysia untuk tahun 2015 and then tahun 2016. Okay, sama juga income Malaysia untuk 2015-2016. So that is time series. But if you were to combine consumption data and income data for Malaysia, nak bandingkan Malaysia dengan Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, because you want to see the consumption too. Among these Asian countries, then it becomes panel data. So, you have to tackle this issue of heteroscedasty, variance is not the same, okay, autocorrelation, and then you also need to deal with multicollinearity because your independent variable tu saling berkait, okay. What we want is your independent variable are bebas, maksudnya dia tidak berkait. Okay, I hope it's clear now. Okay, so All of these are what we call as statistical inferences ataupun penaakulan statistik. Okay, hypothesis testing, you need to come to a decision. Regression, you need to come to chicken eggs. Okay, when it comes to my question, chicken or egg come first? Okay, you better Google. Okay, definitely that won't come out in exam. Depends on your, which article that you're reading and from which perspective, biologically or religiously. Okay, they will have different answer. But it's interesting to read the arguments. Which one comes first, chicken or egg? Okay, and nowadays I think there is this argument about whether our world is round or whether our world, the world is flat. Okay, I thought we already resolved that. Okay, the world is definitely round still. Okay, but somebody now are arguing that no, we are back to the world is flat. Okay, so that's another thing. Kanaga baru masuk. Oh my God, we are reaching the last 5 minutes. Okay, so are you clear, everyone? Anyone with questions? So what you can expect, okay, in terms of final exam, okay, hypothesis testing definitely will come out. Okay, it can come out as a standalone question where you need to calculate mean, standard deviation, okay, for small sample. So it has to be the t-test, okay. Or if you are given the sample large, okay, with the X bar and the S, then you need to do the hypothesis test for large sample using the Z formula, okay. And the first step, you need to know about the type 1 error, type 2 error, what is the meaning of that, okay. And then when it comes to simple regressions, okay, you'll be asked to, what is the slope of the regression equation, what is the intercept of the regression equation, and then you need to interpret. Okay, and then you need to, how you interpret is something, and then you need to do the test, whether the slope is 0 or the slope is not 0, okay, and then you need to know about, correlation, you need to know about coefficient of determination, and then just now what I mentioned in terms of multiple regression, this is beyond the final exam. Okay, this won't come out in final exam. Final exam will be up to simple regression, everything simple regression. This one is for your further studies for your final year project. Okay, so it won't come out in final exam. I hope it's clear enough. Okay, unless you have questions, I'm still here for the last 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, ada soalan? Kishan, ada soalan? Iliani, Iman. Okay, kan tak sebut pula Cik Ati. Azizul, ada soalan tak? So, you need to practice assignment, individual assignment 3. I know it's a lot, but you need to practice. Okay, because this is statistic, you need to do some calculation. Okay, beyond calculation, you need to know how to interpret. Okay, jangan simply calculate tapi tak explain your answer. For example, the hypothesis test, you only do the step 3 using formula. But step 4, step 5, the decision and the completion hilang. So you lose easily 4 or 5 marks there. Okay, so everything counts. Okay, tak ada soalan? Okay lah, tak ada soalan, I think. Thank you everyone who are here today, even though masuk lewat, okay, walaupun tak ada soalan, so remember you need to change this attitude. Okay, what I explained today is just the highlight of the topic. You need to go back to the openlearning.com, okay, quantitative economic easy. There is the video that I've done, okay, with the details, okay, of the steps. Okay, there are some guidelines in terms of how to use your computer to estimate regression function. Okay, so you need to go through all the material. Okay, so Azwani, baru masuk. Okay, ramai juga senyap-senyap dia masuk ni. Tak adalah soalan. Okay, so that's all. Thank you everyone.